It's an excellent ball.
Some really good things and some not so good things from the exhibition. Really liked our first half. I thought we were a group that was dialed in. I thought defensively we took them out of everything we wanted to take them out of. I thought offensively there were some good things and some things that were we got to work on and clean up. But again, as I said in post game, give Wesleyan a lot of credits. They didn't quit. And we came out and played about 3 minutes in the second half, and then just kind of went through the motions, to be very honest. And we've talked a lot about that. We looked at a lot of different lineups and did some things after that. But overall, I thought there was a lot of growth. I thought that our guys were excited. I thought our guys were a little bit nervous, and we did a great job of not fouling. That'll be a big part of our game on Thursday, is keeping them off the line. And I thought we did it by being very aggressive. I love the 29 turnovers, and yet their three-point shooting in the second half was more of them making shots, obviously, but us just ball pressure was poor. Philosophical breakdowns, letting them to the middle of the court. We got caught in some bad rotations, which were mistakes. So we tried to clean that up this week, and now we get ready for the opener and get a Missouri Valley team that's we don't know a ton about. New coach, a lot of new faces. There are 3 or 4 players back, which we know a little bit about, but they've indicated they like to play really fast. I think they're playing a little bit of positionless basketball, meaning they're playing 2, 3, 4 guys at the point. Of various sizes. They've got a transfer guard, a 5th-year kid who's put up huge numbers, 28, 29 points a game prior to coming to Evansville, so we know he can shoot it. But this game is, they got a big center, Shikavicius. I coached his brother, I recruited his brother. Started 4-year starter in South Carolina. He's very big. Grown man, he's an older kid. Had 17 in 17 minutes in their exhibition. So, we're still gathering information on them at this point. But it's a Missouri Valley foe, great conference, and they're going to be well prepared and ready for the opener on Thursday, like all teams will be.
You wanted to have your guards draw more fouls last year, and Andres in the exhibition drew 8 fouls. Is that something you want to see more from him? Get into the line.
Yeah, he got there 14 times in our private scrimmage, so he's very good at it. Io's good at it, and I thought Io and Trent at times played a little passive in terms of driving it. Trent's pull up is really good, and he got that going a little bit early, and sometimes settled a little bit, but. Andres, DeMonte, I thought DeMonte played a little passive offensively. We need those guys to stay assertive, getting downhill, and I think we see that every single day from Dre. So, he's a ton downhill.
What do you think of the 3-point guard lineup in the exhibition?
I liked it. We've worked on it quite a bit in practice this week. I think that we're still trying to clean up the rebounding piece of that a little bit, but there's a certain effect that when Trent's not on the ball, Trent's really fast, and him running a wing has got to scare some defenses, and and then Dre being downhill, and then Io same way. I like that from an offensive standpoint. I like it from a defensive standpoint. I thought Trent was by far and away our most consistent and best defender in the Wesleyan scrimmage, and his assignments and his grade out system was extremely high. So it's fun to see his growth there, and when Trent guards, we know the other 2 can guard, and I think we'll that's something we'll see a lot of.
How much, especially when you're smaller, how much? Is there a trade-off when you ask your guards to crash the glass?
Well, defensively, I've always had guards who are good rebounders. One of the great advantages of scoring under 7 seconds is defensive rebounding from guards. We don't have to outlet it. We can run. We can push it, and you get an advantage in a broken floor when you can do that. But Io let our team in practice yesterday and rebounding. So he's gotten the message, and we need that to continue. And we've got to get Trent doing that, especially on the defensive side. But there's advantage in numbers when you can defensive rebound from your guard spots.
What do you like most about what Andres did for you?
Well, I think Andres is turning into the quarterback. I think we can look at his points and we can look how efficient he is, and he's been that almost every single day in practice. I think the one thing that I'm excited about is he's starting to take charge. He's asking the right questions. He's asking the where everybody should be, and that's a real positive trait because that's something that will just benefit our team.
What is this time of year like for you as a coach and for a team when everybody's 0-0 and gets the opportunity to start anew?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think that we talk about growth a lot in our program, and I've said it many times. I think this team will continue to grow. We'll be a team that's better in December than November, and yet we've got to have a starting point. We've got to find out. And we're going to do that against some of the best teams in the country. So, it's not that it's a gradual learning curve. This is a pretty steep learning curve with this schedule, but this group's up for the challenge, and I think we're excited about that, and we're excited for the opportunity to go play, and that's why they all do this. That's why they spend so much time working in the weight room and so much time in individual workouts is to get the opportunity to go play and compete, and I'm excited from a competitive standpoint. This group, I've said it, enjoys competing and has fun that way. So it all starts on Thursday.
How close is Adonis to being ready to play?
He's getting back in practice, so that's up to the medical doctors. He's been cleared for contact in practice now, so that's a real positive. He made a post move today, and he wiped out the whole lane and everybody that was in it, and that's an encouraging sign. And but he is, he's day to day, but he's making progress. Now it's about putting him out there when he's successful and not laboring, getting his conditioning back under him and taking some hits and doing some of that. So he's making progress.
Where do you think he's at mentally in terms of understanding what you guys do, where to be?
I think mentally he's way ahead of the game. He's probably ahead of some guys who've been in practice every day. That's maturity. That's growth. In terms of having a guy who understands the importance of knowing. He knew he's not coming in and can't just be at the stage one of trying to learn. He's been following it on his iPad. He's been following it in practice. He spends a lot of time in film. He's not going to be perfect. There's always that transition of you think you know until you actually get out there and have to do it. But right now he's been pretty dialed in.
Where do you think the team is with just understanding the system as a whole come Thursday?
I think defensively we've gained some ground. Offensively, I think we're still continuing. I think we're comfortable in our transition actions. I think we're still gaining knowledge and an understanding and a comfort of what we're trying to do in the half court. But again, that piece is chemistry. That piece just takes a little time. It's taken time with every team I've ever had. Not having a guy like AD kind of resets that chemistry thing a little bit at different times. But we're definitely getting better.
Is it kind of like just trying to get guys something, not so much robotic in the offense, kind of like just adapting to what the defense is giving?
Yeah, I mean, I think just an example. Yesterday we did a drill, and I was going to let it go until one of the new guys threw a first cutter layup. And our veterans kept throwing them. And I was never going to say a word to them until just to see. And it's them understanding when a player's open. And even though he may look guarded, he's got his head turned. He's open. And to throw that. And Aaron and Kipper and DeMonte and all those guys keep throwing them. And that's the understanding of when a player's open and having the comfort with it and not trying to be what I call running offense with a joystick, not just programmable. And we're gaining ground on that, but we're they're still thinking it instead of reacting to it.
Who was the young guy who got it?
Nobody. I stopped her, we'd still be out there.
Trent kind of seems like he's embracing this role of being the guy that is kind of near the top of the opposing team scouting report. How have you seen him kind of handle that and take on that?
Well, Trent made a statement yesterday, and I'm going to just put it out there because we're all going to hold him accountable to it now, because he said it. He goes, I want to be all defensive team in Big Ten. And a year ago, that was far, far, far from anything in Trent's mindset. So, yeah, we've seen tremendous growth. I think he accepts that. I think he loves the fact that he's got guys like Dre and Io and Tevian and guys around him who can help. And he knows it's not all about him, but he knows he's the focal point. He gets it. We're starting to see him be much more assertive in practice vocally. Trent always goes. Trent never gets tired. Trent always goes. And now when we see that vocal piece come into play, that's a good thing.
You mentioned Evansville having a big physical five. You also have a freshman center who likes to play physical in Georgia. What's kind of been your message to him?
Yeah, those will be two slugs that'll just be bashing into each other. We need Georgie more than 14 minutes. I think Georgie had 8 or 9 points the other night, and yet he's got to learn to control that emotion and not get lost in that. And it is an advantage, but it's only an advantage if you allow it to be. And he's going to find somebody that's just as strong as him. He hasn't seen that in practice every day, except the last 2 days when he's gone against AD. So he's going to have a guy that's stepped out and made a three. He's going to have a guy that's going to chase every rebound at 8 rebounds in 17 minutes. So it'll be a great challenge for him.
I mean, Jordy's got that great energy and personality. How do you maybe harness that so he's on the court more but not lose it? Because then that's what kind of makes him.
It's the psychology of what I'm doing right now is getting him to understand that he's more valuable on the court to his teammates and to our success than he is sometimes having an emotion where he makes a three and he's blowing kisses to the crowd or getting frustrated with a call. He's got to play through that, and he will. And but we do a lot of talking to him about that.
Where's Sama at with his development?
I think he does some good things. I think we're still trying to get him more cohesive with our group on the defensive end. That's an area where he can really impact us. He's getting ground on it. But again, it's probably not where I want it to be, but we're gaining ground on it.
How much of a challenge is it for you as a coach right now to demand whatever you need to demand from your players, but also be patient with a new group? Or is that a challenge at this point in your career? Do you have a sense how to do that?
No, I think I'm always going to demand. I think that you find the patience point, knowing I understand this group is going to do some things that can make you scratch your head, and I'm okay with that. As long as we continue to work in a positive way, I'm fine. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to try to eliminate them. My frustration with this group comes when we've told them 3 or 4 times, and that same mistake keeps happening. And that's something that understanding the value, understanding the purpose, understanding that the other team isn't going to make those mistakes, and that's what the game is about. The team who makes the fewest mistakes. So I'm going to demand we do those things right. Every now and then I'm going to have to bite my cheek and understand that some of that is youth, and I've got a pretty good feel for some of that. It's just like the other night, I knew they were going to be nervous and excited and all of the above, and there were going to be some turnovers that were just silly turnovers, and we'll grow out of that. It's when you've never been under those lights and in front of that crowd before, and it's different. And they'll slow down mentally. When the game slows down, there'll be a comfort that it will be easy to see on the court for the fans.
You talked about on Friday you wanted them to kind of figure out that three-pointer in the corner that Wesley kept in and didn't do any adjustments. You wanted your team to figure out how to stop it. How have you seen them respond when they've seen film and kind of understood what
it's just a simple rotation. We never help off the strong side. Okay, so if I'm giving our opponents, and all we did was kept running in and trying to, I get it, they're trying to take charges and do the right things, but that's a play we actually just stop and get away from and go with the guy in the corner. And part of it was we got beat off the dribble because we weren't very aggressive with that. We got beat middle drive one time in the first half. We got beat 17 times in the second. So that'll show that our focus and our aggressiveness was not quite where it was needed to be. But yeah, we gave that up. And those are all correctable. So that's why I didn't get worried about it. In that moment, let them see if they figured it out, because we practice it quite often, and now they see it live, and it was mostly newcomers. It was, I think Tab gave up 3 or 4, and Io gave up 1 or 2, and Tyler gave up 1 or 2, and all of a sudden it's okay, really. We talked about it in a timeout, but it all started with ball pressure and our lack of.
Trent got off to a really good start offensively for the next mission. Then he said Friday night that kind of shifted his focus to helping his younger teammates along. Just where do you want him to be on that spectrum of still being a go-to option, but also leading?
No, I want Trent to be. One thing with Trent is you don't want to corral his aggressiveness, and you've got to mesh the flow of the game with that, and understand that the other team defensively is probably going to scheme him, and that's when he's got to make other players better, and that's going to be a feel thing for him. But believe me, I have no problem with him getting off to the start that he got off to. That's a big. I think that was a sense of comfort for all of our guys, seeing, okay, here's the all Big Ten guy getting his game off, and now we can just sit out and guard, and then they can flow into it. And it's nice to bring Dre off the bench because he's got a sense of maturity as well. So it's good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.